needed the good time, 7.5 days a month, but also because
We were studying the prison industrial complex and what it does, why it's there, and the women from Voice from the Inside helped us to be able to see into the personal aspect of it as opposed to the statistical standpoint.
Every time I got out of jail, I got high. And I got out of jail the last time in September 2016, and I overdosed the next day and almost died. And that's when I decided my life had to change.
In addition to jail, nearly 80% of us were mothers living with our children when we were incarcerated.
We accepted guilty plea bargains in 97% of our cases due to poor legal representation.
86% of us have experienced sexual violence, much of which happened in childhood.
82% of us were in jail for nonviolent offenses.
82% of us are drug or alcohol dependent or are abusers.
And so we're taking the class, and now we have real people from the prison system coming in to tell us their real experiences.
So after spending 7 months with no contact in any way, shape, or form with my family, I got out of jail on December 21st with nowhere to go. But it was a very difficult walking out of jail and not having anybody to call, like nobody except your dealer.
Yep.
And I struggled being over Christmas in a shelter in Springfield.
And it's deep, it's hard to listen to sometimes, it's hard to get into.
My mom was a drug addict, and I didn't know that, and I didn't realize that till later on in my life. Like I said, I dropped out at 12 years old out of school. My mom didn't drop me off nowhere. We lived in the same house, but she left me in the same house. There was 5 other siblings, so it wasn't just me. I turned to the street. I started selling drugs. I started using drugs. I started selling myself. At the age of 14, I done did so much stuff. I had older siblings, and I was selling drugs and feeding my older siblings. I would have to buy us clothes and stuff like that. So,
wow, it was a different variety of women. I felt like they each had their different stories, but they all had the same solution. Like they all wanted the same thing in result, to be better in life, to recover, to never go back to jail and do right by their family. That's what a lot of it sounded like.
I made a lot of horrible decisions throughout my life, but I definitely would not go back and change a thing because of who I am today and the way I live my life and how I reflect it toward my relationships in my life with my kids, everything. I definitely wouldn't go back and change a thing. Yeah.
I wasn't a fan of them. I felt that they went to jail and did all these crimes and hurt their families the most, and that's unforgivable. And I've been in an experience where I've been hurt by my own mother and by my own family, so them hurting their own kids and their own family and taking advantage of the things that they had, I can't respect a lot of the things that they've already done, but I can't respect the changes that they've made and why they made them, just to better themselves and better their family. So as long as they're doing better, there's nothing to be better.
they got along. My mom was an ex-drug user, by the way, and I basically traveled the same road she did. Only thing that I didn't do is get murdered like she did and sell my kids. And I didn't have children at the young age she had me. You can't get a lot of it back. They don't understand. You guys will never understand, I don't think. You just have to keep the faith and hope that everything turns out okay.
And this is my first time experiencing something like this, and it was very mind-opening. I got to hear other people's stories, being in prison or not in prison, and it was very surprising to hear the details. So I have my mind more open about how the system works.
Yeah, me and Chris had similar stories. So when I feel like we kind of touched them by telling them how, like, basically how their kids must feel with their parents doing that to them, and then giving them some type of hope so they could recreate their relationships with their families.
Okay.
That's great. So you gave them something and they gave you something?
I feel like it was basically a one-on-one session with them, and them giving us feedback and us giving them feedback and helping each other out. And we both did the course.
And
we both did the course.
The experience with this class, it's just good. The same way I come in to give information, and let them know about my experiences. It also gives me a chance to hear their stuff and their experiences and what their thoughts are like, towards not us, but like what their life has been. And I think I get something from them, just as me giving. I receive something from what they have to say to us.
I came into the class today to let them know how it is re-entering society. I read a little about my struggles of being incarcerated, being drug addicted, and finding ways to get out of that lifestyle and to where I'm at today.
Great. And how was it interacting with the students?
It was a big change for me to be around college students, mainly because I always wanted to go to college and I'd waited so long, but to be in a room with the college students was very encouraging to me. It gave me a lot of strength. For me to come in there doing a class for them, it actually encouraged me. It felt very good and made me feel like I'm being productive in society again.
Yes, it does. It just reminds me of why I do this and why I need to keep doing this. And like I've said before, my life experiences are not just for me to experience. My life experiences are for me to tell it and let somebody else and help somebody else, because we go through the things in life, and it's not just for you. We don't just go through them. It also helps. It's to help somebody else.
And they read the same book as you, right?
Yeah.
What book was that?
It was
Place to Stand.
A Place to Stand
By Jimmy Baca.
And how did that book fit into what you were studying?
The book is basically about all the setbacks someone could have in life, and going to prison, and your family and everything that's around you that's just going miserably, and just still finding some way to cope through it. And that was poetry, and that same thing like them.
Yeah, and I feel inside that book, he went through so many struggles and so many bad things that it's like he shouldn't have had hope. But he got to a point where he just kept striving, kept going. He was still motivated, and he just kept going. But he found ways to let that negativity out and bring the positivity in. And that's what I feel these ladies are doing. And I feel if they were to stop poetry and stop what they're doing, they're letting the negativity back in. So what they're doing needs to happen, and they're doing a good job at it too.
We're reading chapter 5, and at the end it says it's time for some change. That leads me to one last question. Since you guys are up here now and you guys decided to make a change and you guys are writing and you guys sound awesome, does that inspire you to become a poet or an author like him?
It was just very surprising to me that I would become so invested so quickly. It's such a great outlet.
Like the stuff that I've been through in my life, like everybody has a different journey. So at least, that's where his journey led him. And I believe, through my years of using, 30 years of using on and off, this change right now has changed my life completely. And I do in the future would like to write about my life, because just like him telling a story, I'm sure it's going to help somebody else. Yeah. So somewhere, I don't know whenever God puts it in my path, I'll know when to do it. But right now, it would be something that I would be interested in doing.
You guys do inspire all of us to be more confident and open up, by the way. So thank you very much.
I feel like if something were to break, you search up how to fix it. For them, it's like we came into this class not knowing about the prison system and things like that. But when we met them, it was just insight, and what I mean by fixing that thing that we broke was I can ask them the questions right there and then. I don't have to search up anything. I don't have to study anything. It's like they're right in my face, telling me exactly what it is, how it happened.
Why is the issue of re-entry so important, not just for former inmates, but for everybody?
I haven't been in jail in a long time, but I was addicted to alcohol and drugs. So re-entry society, anything is just for me to be part of, to feel that I have a voice, that my opinions are important just as well as anyone that had a normal life.
I feel like I like to know how people think, and the more educated I am with why people do things and why this person made that choice and who made them make that choice or why they feel someone made them make that choice is like the most interesting thing to me. And having those ladies whose choices have been made by other people and choices have been made by the situation they were in and the choices that were made when there was no other choice, it's like it puts me in a better position to understand that choices are a big thing, and that this choice can mean I can land here and this choice means I can land all the way down here. They showed me that, I guess.
Yeah, and it showed me at a young age you're so vulnerable to so many things like drugs and stuff, and just saying no and like being away from that and then staying focused. They showed me that you can go one way and you can either go the other way and make that choice. Like he said, make that choice. You have a choice, and they showed me you had a choice.
You know, a lot of us have made wrong choices because we didn't know no better, and a lot of us made choices because we didn't know we had a choice. You understand what I'm saying? So you can't judge me because of my life. You don't know what's behind the story of what I did or what I had to do. You know, and we need, like she said, we need for society not to look at us, yo, you did this, you did that. No, there is change. You know what I'm saying? We're living proof.
What it worked. I studied till the sun came up at times. Went to school on my sickest days, no one to watch my daughter. I had to do whatever possible as long as in the end I had good results. Now my daughter knows her mommy did it and she was set free. Well, I've always had a thing for writing. I never liked it, but now today actually doing it myself in front of everybody, it really helped open up.
When they realize they left me, I will calm their fright. Excitement when I see them after forever, especially since they won't leave again. No, never.
I love the phrasing after forever and then no, never. Because they just keep leaving and leaving, but no, never. Oh, it was really well done. It was really good. I liked it.
I learned that I'm actually pretty good at writing poetry, and they actually did help me open up to that option. They hadn't tried it before, and they helped me out with that a lot.
I honestly struggle with poetry, and then with them, they made me feel like every word doesn't have to rhyme or it's not supposed to be perfect. So like you could just say what you want to say, and it comes out like a story.
I feel like when I'm in that room, every word I write down was like deeper than it should have been.
Yeah.
I don't know why I think deeper, but since they're in the room, I'm just thinking more in me.
Yeah, like they're giving us that love, and I feel like I just want to give them back that love.
Yeah. Like thank you guys for sharing your hard experiences.
Because we're both strangers. We're strangers to both of them, like to us, them, and them to us. So
for them to just
open up and tell us their experiences they didn't even want to tell their children.
That's the crazy part. That's the cool part.
Just because I want to become a judge when I get older, and actually wanting to work in the criminal justice system and seeing what the system is doing to criminals and want to change it all. Like that's basically what I took out of this whole course, and I rewired my whole brain. Basically, just how the prison is like basically subjected for prisoners to come back in your life. Come back. It's not really helping them when they get out. And then people are like subjected once they get in, all the laws is placed, like we learned about the mandatory laws and like 3 strikes laws and then plea bargains. We all learn about all of that. It's making it seem like the system is corrupted or something. I didn't feel like that. I felt like there was a place that they helped us and they knew what was best for us, and I should be following after them. And now I see that it's not all rainbows and sunshine, and something got to be done.
I laughed every chance I got. I had a couple of real goofy roommates, so we laughed together. As much as I hated jail, I loved that I was always around someone I could laugh with.
I discovered that my voice matters. I have the ability to choose my destiny.
Broken and defeated for 30 years, I made the choice that I will not be broken no more. Life will not have its way with me. We conceive dreams, we give birth to them. We have to nurture them so they'll grow to its full potential.
I gained a real life answer. Like my whole life, you get stuff from books and teachers and stuff that people don't really experience, and I got a real experience from people who do this. Like, it's in prison every day, and they just got out, and they deal with drug abuse and how hard it is. I never understood how hard it was to really break away from your family, but still love them. So it kind of gave me kind of peace in my heart.
Wait, I'll hold it then. You're not gonna crouch down.